Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. DAPs.
And I'm Johnny Five.
And I'm Hayley.
And I was supposed to remind you, ask you why you're Johnny Five tonight.
Because of the
I
giveaway. Because of the giveaway we're doing. So I was at Starbucks earlier, and I found one of the little cards episode of Wildlife Specials, the Spy Collection. Penguins waddle all the way the journey. So
that's awesome.
5 randomly selected audience members to have a Penguin TV. Awesome.
Now you can see how deep our audience goes as he's standing right in front of the...
Extending all the way back. And congratulations, all of you are winners. Yay! If you didn't win, maybe next time.
That was magical. This would be the point. So that was your 5 reason?
That was it.
Okay.
Giveaway!
This would be the point where we ask you to hashtag and join the show on Twitter.
Is
with
hashtag a verb now?
I don't know.
Please hashtag.
Yeah, hashtag us with the hashtag Geeks Corner, and then we can respond to you on the show, and that would be fun. And I was talking to Murray today. I'm going to just say this, Murray. We didn't actually discuss this far, but I'm going to anyway. Murray is going to Florida in June.
Nice.
Right?
Oh,
and one of the things he expressed that he wants to do while in Florida is meet Mikey Really Likey. So Mikey Really Likey, you got to connect with Murray because he's going to be the next DAPs.
And then you guys have to take a selfie together.
or
Mikey.
a picture with Mickey, or I don't know, who's your favorite character?
In all of Disney?
Yeah, that you can find at like Epcot or something.
Only up.
Apparently it's a hard.
You have 30
Okay,
minutes
so
of the show to
Stitch.
think about
You
it.
can go get a picture with Stitch, and then tweet who you really want to meet, and that would be fun.
Apparently, the character he really wants to meet is Mikey Really Likey.
There you go. So Mikey can pick who you guys take a picture with.
Yeah.
Because they have that thing called Photo Pass, and that's just a fantastic
Crazy
fun
concept.
thing.
They also have Photoshop, so if you don't see the character you want to, take a picture of them from afar and just put them in the background.
Yep,
Yeah,
you
that'll
got your
work too.
options.
But make sure no other penguins are in the photo because that gets weird.
It doesn't matter. It's Disney. There's always people in the photos. So speaking of Disney, you
Yes,
did something Disney this last weekend.
I did.
What'd you do?
I went
Tell
to
us
Disney
about it.
on Ice.
Disney on Ice.
And I go very frequently.
Was it
but
cold?
It was, yeah, coldish. Whatever. Up there now, cool.
Talking about, they
so-
had, wait, I didn't see, that was cool.
Yeah,
Start
so
over.
we went to Worlds of Fantasy, which I had never seen before. I guess it was from like,
So it's like World of Color on Ice?
not really.
Oh, okay.
We really only focused on like 4 segments, basically.
Is that Sebastian?
Yeah, we have Sebastian there.
I was like, hey guys.
Yeah, so it was basically like the car segment at the beginning. Not really sure because we missed the very beginning, so we're not sure how they got
Was
into
your
the
car late?
cars area.
Was driving a problem getting to see the car?
No.
Irony.
I mean, it was an adventure no matter what.
Did you get lost?
We didn't really get lost.
I'm more interested in the
but-
adventure than I am in the
What's the story? You have
The
to.
point was we didn't want to go to LA. We ended up going to LA because my mom bought the wrong tickets and didn't realize it at first.
okay. So it took
like
longer
it was
to
our
get there.
first time being there, and we normally go to like Honda Center or something. So we didn't really know
Close.
where we were going. We also wanted to get cookies beforehand.
Cookies are good.
Yeah. So
Did you walk in LA? Because I've heard that nobody walks in LA.
not really.
Nobody wants.
So is there
Yeah.
is there like a storyline to this, or is it just a bunch of
I'm
random
not really
characters?
sure, considering we didn't have a set introduction for it. It
But
just
you've seen
seems-
other ones,
I
right?
have seen other ones
Do they
that
usually have a story?
better than this one.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
the only thing that they use to tie it all together is that they're fantasy worlds, which is kind of weird because Cars isn't really like that far off. Yeah, like they're
They-
talking.
They do have
and
eyes
then,
and
like-
they talk.
I know, but
And
like,
they drive themselves, which
What's,
previously only happened with Herbie.
and
What's right next to the S? Is that Dumbo or Tinkerbell?
that's Tinkerbell.
That's Tinkerbell. Okay.
So like
I can't see
Under
it
the
from
Sea
here.
is pretty cool, and like Disney fairies are pretty cool, but then like Andy's in a big portion of it because it's Toy Story 3, and I'm like, that's not really
Like
that
grown-up Andy?
fantastical. Yeah,
Is he a big portion?
Huh.
he
Because
shows
if,
up multiple times.
if the toys are us sized, then the Andy should be like.
Well,
in the
it,
Ginormous.
when Andy's there, it's with stuffed toys. So then you
like
kinda
the
see-
cruise ship version of it.
Sure.
Look it up on YouTube.
Yeah, I know. I've heard things,
Yeah,
but
it's fun.
They have
yeah,
ice on
the
a cruise
only
ship?
They have a Toy Story musical on a cruise ship.
On ice?
No.
Oh.
But they do the thing where Andy has the toys and then he walks away.
I know.
yeah.
I-
So
I
that's
was-
basically what it was, and
I went on a cruise ship that had an ice show once. Keep going.
yeah. So
I'm just saying it could be done.
all right. So Worlds of Fantasy is what I saw.
Did you have a favorite character?
I liked seeing the Disney fairies on ice because I'd never seen them before. I've seen like tiny segments of the Toy Story people, so this was like bigger of a story because it was like the whole part after intermission. So that was cool to see them too. But I think the fairies were my favorite because I had never seen Tinkerbell's fairy friends.
Okay.
Tinkerbell.
So you weren't around when they did it in the parade for Christmas a few years ago?
No.
Okay.
No.
The car, did it just drive on the ice or was
Yeah.
it?
So
okay.
it was Lightning McQueen and.
So it wasn't like James Bond
Yeah.
with the skis or whatever. 'Cause that would be
it was
cool.
pretty
Lightning
lame.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. And
Definitely, did you like
when's your
Yeah.
next one?
The next one. that'll
Yeah.
be?
What's the next Frozen thing you're gonna see?
Well, I hope it's gonna be the Frozen one.
Oh, the Frozen.
Yeah.
There is Frozen.
Of course.
It's gonna be coming, I think, like in December or something. But I always try and see them when they're here. Like I've seen, I think, most of the other ones in
Nice.
the past couple of years when they've come through. So
Cool.
hoping
if-
for Frozen.
So if you go see Disney Ice, look for Hayley the Hatter and take a selfie with her and send it into the show. Murray really does not like selfies, so I'm just trying to work it in as much as I can. But yeah, so that's where to find her.
Speaking of Murray, on was it Friday night? We had a weird day on Friday actually because we went to Star Wars Celebration during the day, and then we got hungry, and so we went to Knott's Berry Farm Thursday night.
Can we say that on this show?
I just did, and but then we realized they were also having an AP preview of the Tomorrowland preview, whatever.
Yeah,
At
it's going to be
Disneyland.
open, and it's just you could go.
But you can
for
get
it.
a pin that
Yeah.
I'm not wearing and I forgot in the house. And so we decided to go get our pin and see the preview, and then we met Jeff, and so then right, he's the guy that goes to Disneyland every single day of his life forever.
Cool. Hi, Jeff.
Like I bet in like 25, 30, 40, I don't know, however many years, he's still going to be going to Disneyland every day. Don't you think?
Yeah.
You know him, right, Roger? Yeah. And so we met him, and then we saw the show, and then we saw the exhibit thingamabobber, and then we were finally done. And I really don't know why we would do that when we've covered a full day of Star Wars Celebration, and we have all this video to post. But we did. So we saw the preview, and it's an interesting, completely different look at.
Right?
Did you get to see it? Good.
I think I was there the same day. I think.
Did you go Thursday night?
I don't know. I got the pin.
Yeah, then you went Thursday
Okay,
night.
cool.
Great.
Awesome. We
What'd
missed
you
each
think of
other.
it?
I like it. I agree. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen the newest stuff.
Who in this room has seen the preview at this point?
It's about half of us. The new preview.
Okay.
Um,
But yeah, it's a completely so far the trailers have just been like this girl is getting out of jail or something and finds this pin and transports magically to Tomorrowland, like modern day. And this whole thing took place in a completely different time period, completely different story being told. And now I'm interested in seeing it. When it was just her, it almost looked like a Hunger Games kind of feeling, and I wasn't as interested in like the young adult thing that they were going for. But now that it's like nostalgia and steampunk stuff put together, like I'm a lot more interested in seeing it.
there's a bit more depth to it now, I
Yeah,
think. and
exactly.
the backstory's a little bit stronger. I thought it was an interesting take and an interesting preview that really fit with the location of having a preview in the park.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a little bit weird in Florida. I was just like, it's like this is really cool here, but I can't really picture it over there.
Sorry, guys.
it'd
Mikey,
be-
tell us, does it work? Does it work?
it would be cool. It just wouldn't have the same connection that it does here without going into too many details on what's in the preview. But I really did like the nostalgia factor. I thought was interesting, and just how they fit things that we know pretty were recognizable, maybe not the same setting, but how they fit it into the bigger picture of the story and manipulate reality, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And
I also really like the so there's the preview inside the Captain EO Theater basically, and then there's the exhibit in the back of the Starcade. But when you go in to see the preview, there's all these pictures on the walls.
Yeah.
And I loved that because half of it was like construction diagrams for how to build the kiosks in the park and things like that. And I totally nerded out on that. Like, I like, oh, that's a cool picture of that thing. Oh, look, that's that thing split up with numbers. I'm going to look at that version. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it just really does connect the history behind the movie with.
It connects the past with the future.
It does.
And
in
fantasy.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is all
Enter the worlds
connected.
of yesterday, tomorrow, and fantasy.
Yeah, so it does make it a lot more intriguing to me. I'm still worried that it's going to be one of those underwhelming movies where we've heard about it so much that the moment we see it, we're going to be like, oh, that's it? You know, like, I'm really trying to lower expectations in my mind. I think that's what it is.
So,
I just don't want to be disappointed.
just tell yourself it's going to be a mixture of Meet the Robinsons and Tron, and you'll probably be pretty good.
I think I'd like that movie.
That's actually kind of what it feels like to me. Like the production, like how they
A
made
little
Tron
bit, yeah.
with kind of the story-ish of Meet the Robinsons, so this kind of match
Yeah.
the two. So
What
Whether
did
or
you
not that
think
works.
of the last 5 minutes of it? Now people are really going to want to go see because like, what are they
Yeah, right.
talking about?
Well, it's a pretty standard presentation style for these in-park previews where they show you like an uncut 10 minutes of the movie, and then
The last part of the uncut.
the last part of the trying to so before they go into like the clip show of all the what happens in the Tomorrowland.
He's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I saw it twice, and the first time I was like really nervous of a couple of the things that were happening. So it not that I thought anything bad was going to happen, like really bad. Like,
But it could have.
it's not a Joss Whedon show, but it just like oh no that yeah. So I liked it. It was
Okay.
It was an emotional roller coaster of the I don't know.
All right.
I'm trying to keep it vague so it's
So you're
spoiler
saying
free.
go
Like,
out and
so
see it
vague
and
and
let us
so
know what you think
specific.
of the preview in Tomorrowland, because that's just not confusing.
The preview, as some of us said on Thursday night at the preview, it was the preview of Tomorrowland at the Tomorrowland Theater in Tomorrowland.
Yeah,
Did you eat at Tomorrowland Terrace afterward?
Pizza Party.
close, but
Close.
missed it by
Almost
that
there,
much.
almost there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting. So what else we had happening this last weekend was Star Wars Celebration consumed our lives from Thursday to Sunday, and I feel like it still is, as we've been continuing to write and produce coverage from this, and it was a big weekend. So it goes all around the globe every year celebrating Star Wars, and this year is particularly exciting because we have a new movie coming out. We have TV shows. We have tons of This is a good time to be a Star Wars fan. And I'm feeling a lot more confident about this than I was. How many years ago was it when Star Trek rebooted? Was it 5 years ago now? Yeah. Like I was very worried about that. And I think justifiably. And this, especially after this weekend, like we're in for some really exciting things. Even later this summer, and going into this winter and coming winters with different movies as they come out. So Thursday, I think we'll just go one day at a time, and that'll make life easier. They unveiled, I think the highlight was easily the Force Awakens trailer. And they showed that during the opening panel ceremony, whatever you want to call it. And the other
chances are, if you're watching us, you've seen it.
Yeah, I
If
would
you
assume
haven't
so. And
looked at
hopefully
it,
you've
it's
seen
cool.
our video because it's really fun to see the people react to it. And just, has everybody seen the trailer? Okay, so I love the part where it just gets dead silent, and then Han and Chewie show up and the room explodes. It's like, yeah. And the other part from that morning I really loved was seeing, do you have the picture BB-8? There we go.
Yeah.
It's real.
Now, okay, so
Like it rolled onto the stage and the thing's real.
So that's the reaction I've been hearing is people freaking out like, man, I thought that was just really good CG, and then it came out on stage and I lost it. Didn't we know that was real?
No.
Because when we first
Like we
saw
speculated
the
that it was.
trailer.
All they said was there was more physical stuff. And
because I wasn't nearly as shocked by that. I was shocked that they had it there. Like as shocked as I was that R2D2 came out on the stage, I'm just like, oh, they brought the thing.
If you went to Star Wars Celebration, you would be not shocked about R2D2. He's everywhere.
Oh, I know, but I mean, like,
I think I saw like 80 R2.
You know,
They were all the R2.
I'm sure. But you know, it wasn't. I wasn't shocked that it existed. I was shocked that they brought it.
Okay.
You know, because I was fairly certain from before that it was a physical thing. So I didn't know that this was something that a lot of people thought was CG. So I don't know. That's just me personally.
Well, that just shot that down.
I'm sorry.
Way to be a
I
downer.
thought
Go
that
ahead,
somehow
Tyler.
we knew about that.
My shocking thing about it was how well it actually works. Because in
Yeah.
the trailer, it's like you don't know what kind of trickery they're using. Could have been like a little track into the sand or whatever. But
Yeah.
like the fact that it was a thing that rolled on stage and worked exactly on stage as it does in the trailer we saw, that's kind of blew my mind.
Well, and the amazing thing too that you learn throughout the course of the weekend too is they're now able to do pretty much the same thing with R2D2 as well. If you saw the original movie, when he's going through the sand, he's actually getting pulled. You know, they erase the cord or whatever, and now they actually R2D2 can go through sand, like,
Oh, nice.
and they have different versions of him to do these different things. Sorry, if that's ruining the magic, but this is Geeks
I
Corner.
love-
We're going to talk about that
I
stuff.
love the article we found. Do you guys know about Sphero?
Yes. Yep.
It's an app controlled ball. Like you can buy this at an Apple store. It's like $120 for a ball, and you can control it on your iPhone and it'll roll around. That company helped them build BB-8 as a working robot.
And it's
and before
fascinating
that-
how it works.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of how I speculated that it worked.
it's nice when your speculation.
But
you can
then
see
it was
the
like,
blueprint of
hey,
it.
I'm right.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going.
But until they made that partnership, it was going to be puppetry or have it on a stick and have some guy running alongside of it. But the fact that they were able to make it be a thing that
Or
come out-
holding it, or like
Yeah,
there's
very
several
small.
different ways they could have done it. Yeah.
and probably multiples for different things. But
Yeah.
so I thought that was cool. And there's also an article that Sphero is going to be making a BB-8 toy that
Yeah.
you can potentially download and control with your phone. And I can imagine that selling for a lot. But
Yeah.
someone will get it.
And then Tyler, I think you also had a picture of the new Stormtroopers. Did I see that up there?
Yeah.
So they also unveiled the new Stormtroopers, which I think are a really good progression of the look of the Stormtroopers, and I think it does a nice job of making them look spooky and mean and intimidating and modern. But I mean, it kind of follows the track that they started with Clone Wars, and I've always felt there's almost an automobile quality to their helmets. Like you think about it.
No. There's a stormtrooper quality to cars.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But it's interesting to watch them progress, and it seems like it's progressing in the right direction, in a logical direction. And I'm going to need your help with this, Murray. They're now part of the First Order, and we learned that from the trailer. And we also learned that the X-Wings are part of the Resistance, which is, I think it's interesting. You don't think it's interesting, but
What are they resisting?
that's the question.
Yeah.
Like as much as we got from the Star Wars trailer, like it opened up a whole new can of questions and worms, because it's not the Rebellion and the Empire anymore, because there's that big Star Destroyer crashed into the planet that's on Craigslist. And
That's
seriously, somebody put it on Craigslist. It's a great article. But yeah, it just brought up so many more questions about the movie, where it's going, what's going to happen.
which is good.
Yeah, and then I've been speculating that people might die in this movie, and
Really, in
like,
a Star Wars film?
legacy people. I think
Really?
like favorites are going to die. And Anthony Daniels was talking, and I thought he was cryptic in his talking, and so I'm just going to stick with somebody that we've loved for my entire lifetime. I'm predicting will die.
Jar Jar.
Do you now?
Jar Jar has never had love in my lifetime.
By any, not to. Don't say a name if there is one. But my question
He didn't give a name.
no. My question to you, Mr. Daps, is: are you speculating a specific person, or are you speculating that one of this group?
Publicly, I'm going to say one of the group, and I have hunches on who
Okay.
and
I'm
what.
not. I don't want you to say.
I could go
who it is,
if we were to have a really long conversation. I could give you my
We've got time.
yeah.
So
But
you
we
think
don't
the
have
card-
that kind of
I
time.
think the card's gonna die.
Yes, that's the one. Now it's Kurt. Come on.
Worf.
Worf. So the other big story of the weekend, well, there was really three big stories of the weekend. The second one was Star Wars Rebels. Have you watched any of those?
Not really.
Have you watched Clone Wars?
No.
Okay.
The cartoons didn't really connect with me.
They're so good.
I
I had a hard time connecting, especially with Clone Wars at the beginning, but then as you watch them further, they filled in so much of the story that wasn't being told in the prequels, and it really made up for kind of the lack of some things in the prequels. So I really like those. But then it moved on to Rebels, and it's really like, I don't know. I just think it keeps getting better and better. There was a few shaky episodes, but even they ended up tying into the finale. And so we got to hear a panel on them and see a new trailer there. And that was really interesting because the trailer for Star Wars Rebels, I think, got a bigger reaction than the trailer for The Force Awakens, because it was about the same level of cheering, but there was a standing ovation as well, which shocked me.
Nice.
Because I think Force Awakens is going to be way cooler.
Were people just sitting longer before that? Or
No, it was about the same. But in fact, I think they were, I don't know. So the next season of Force Awakens is really going to take the show into more traditional Star Wars. It's more of the battles and it's the wars. And so that's going to be a lot of fun, whereas season one was kind of setting up that nucleus of the characters and the family and how they're working with each other. And there's a lot of that kind of stuff. And this one's going to be how they fight other people and people attack them and whatnot. And then we had the opportunity to see the first episode from season 2, and that was ridiculous. And the ridiculous part wasn't the episode, which was also awesome, but we literally walked into this digital screening room. What do they call it? Digital stage. And we walk in the room and they're like, put your phones away, turn off your phones. And I'm like, well, can I text my wife and tell her like I'm going to be gone for 2 hours or whatever? No, put your phone away. And they're like, if we have to say it again, we're kicking you out. And I was like, okay, putting the phone away. Like we literally had to do that. And then they were walking up and down the aisles with
tasers?
What are they called? Night vision goggles.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Were you in there?
I know I've been to things
Oh,
like
okay.
this where they've done that.
And they were like,
Real deal.
the funniest part was there was this kid up in the front with the flashy feet thing, the shoes. And so they kept going back and checking on him during the show because they'd see the light up there, and they'd you'd see two of them rushing up to the front, and it's just the kids' shoes. It was great.
See, there's no reason to have those shoes.
I think that was plenty of reason, and it was awesome.
Now, here's the interesting question: was what's maybe this is already happening, but what's going to happen when the Apple Watch starts coming in?
I don't know.
Is it you take off
Well,
your
it doesn't
watch,
have a
put your
camera,
watch
does
away?
it?
No,
This one won't, but
microphone though.
Oh, just like Mike.
has a
Yeah, I don't know.
microphone, And there's another one that does have a camera.
But the episode
Android ones?
was easily, I think, the best episode they've put out for the series.
Oh.
Will be the first episode of next season. And I was actually really surprised because as I was watching it, I got really I actually got moved because it feels like the movies, like the really good movies growing up, where you kind of have that big it is and the scope and the scale of what's going on. And so that was really a lot of fun to watch. And I'm not going to get into any of the details of that either, but I can tell you it's dangerous and it's awesome.
They use the same cutaways.
Hmm?
They use the same cutaways.
The iris.
You'll have to
white.
see. I don't actually think they use those on Rebels.
They have to.
Do they?
That is a requirement.
I don't
for
pay
Star
attention. I was
Wars.
so engrossed in the show that I honestly couldn't tell you. And then the
Have
last
PowerPoint transition.
big story I think to come out of the weekend was Star Wars Rogue One, which is not a standalone film. It's part of the anthology of Star Wars movies. They want us to say it that way, I guess. But what it's going to be is literally a war movie. So think Saving Private Ryan. Think what was the other ones you said?
Well, there's crew that have done like Black Hawk Down.
Black Hawk Down. Yeah, that was one. But think really gritty, really. It's a
Captain
war
America.
movie.
Cars 2.
Captain America was a gritty war movie. I mean, not as gritty as some of the other ones on this list, but it's a war movie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But it's going to be much grittier, much darker, I think. Yeah, it's not a thanks. It's not going to be a sci-fi movie. It's going to be a war movie, and it's going to be about the Rogue One squadron that's trying to steal the Death Star plans before Episode 4.
Okay.
And so it really does tie in. It's going to take place the same time as Star Wars Rebels. They teased it. There might be some crossovers. Which, how weird is
It's
that
all
between
connected.
a cartoon? Yeah. Oh, they're totally. That was the story, or that was the message they were really trying to give everybody this weekend. Is they have a story group that's going through everything to make sure there's always continuity and it's all working together.
Nice.
Like the analogy that kept coming into my head was everything Star Wars, like every movie is one piece of a really big puzzle. Whether it's a TV show, video game, book,
Nice.
movie, they're making it all work, and it should be really, really cool. And I don't know, like I can almost guarantee Rogue One's not going to be a family-friendly movie, and it might even be on the edge of our comfort zones too, because we just don't really watch too many war movies. What?
Like Daredevil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's gonna push some boundaries, and it's gonna definitely it'll be interesting to see how it's received, because Star Wars is
It's
pretty
a different feel for the.
and
for
it's
the genre
Star
of
Wars is
the
pretty
franchise.
kid friendly for what it is. Like, so I don't think that one's gonna be kid friendly. And then the last thing that was Star Wars Celebration, I thought, was all the droids. Like, they literally had, what do you think, 3 or 4 dozen droids there, and they would race them.
Ooh.
And so we've got videos of the races. We've got the video of Chopper from Star Wars Rebels racing with R2-D2. You can see who won on our YouTube channel. And are we getting any comments, by the way?
We are.
I'm not on the right thing.
All this episode. Wow.
2 comments regarding Rebels. One from Autumn DTS.
Yeah,
Uh,
back in Florida, I think.
Okay, saying Rebels is an amazing cartoon series. Cannot wait for season 2.
It'll be great.
And Mike really like he says, I love the first season of Rebels. Trailer got me really excited about season 2. Glad they're bringing back Captain Rex.
Yes, I didn't even think of Captain Rex. Yeah, they're bringing back Captain Rex, and you already know about Ahsoka. And they're really doing a good job of not throwing in characters just to throw them in, but to make sure that they fit part of the story too. And I think that's good. Even though the analogy that they used, or the story that they used of the production process, was that somebody basically goes around and throws out a name, and the one they used in I think Dave Filoni was the one that says, like, who we should use? It's Porkins. And the moment he said that, I was like, Murray loves Porkins.
Yes.
He's like, and then it goes to the
Hashtag Murray
meeting,
loves
and it'll
Porkins.
come up in a story meeting. And like, yeah, we should use Porkins. And then we all talk about it for a little bit and realize that's really not a good idea. We shouldn't use Porkins.
That's always a good idea.
And so they're
Porkins
not
goes with
using
everything.
Porkins at this point, but
That they're
they're
admitting
admitting
to.
to. And the funny part is, if you listen, we've got it on the podcast, we've got the press conference, and if you listen to it, he flat out says he's lying like 2 or 3 times, I think, where he's like, yeah, I'm telling you this, but really I'm lying. And like it's just but it wasn't on Porkins. Like, I don't know. So
if he was willing to lie and then tell you, he
I
was
want
lying,
a
he's willing to lie
standalone
and not
Porkins
lie.
movie.
Yes,
Like,
and
I
it'll
think
be
Murray's like, yes.
so where Rogue One was in the style of those war movies, the Porkins movie would be in the style of like Tommy Boy.
Have you seen Tommy Boy? Oh, we're gonna watch
Seen
it.
anything.
We're gonna watch Tommy Boy, right, Tyler?
Yes.
Tommy Boy, so
right now,
good.
after we're done filming, in 1 minute, we're gonna watch Tommy Boy.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay, after Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we'll
Holy
watch Tommy Boy. It's at like
shnikes.
11 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, it's one of the best worst movies out there. Like,
Right.
it's true. Like,
Hate it.
It's David Spade is in it too, right?
yeah,
The guy? Yeah.
He's super young.
And
Yeah.
Rob Lowe.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
which
a
Rob Lowe?
it's a star-studded
With
cast.
DirecTV?
Sounds
Yeah, it's a funny movie. Yeah, I think that'd be a great way to go.
Anyway,
Oh, Virginia. I'm sorry, Autumn. I Florida's part-time. I didn't know, but
it's barely summer. Why are we talking about autumn?
Hey,
I'm sure you've never heard that joke before, but
we're
now you're
gonna watch ever again.
Oh,
Anyway, we are running out of time for this week. I see that our clock is yelling at us now. We'd love to hear what you thought about Star Wars Celebration if you were there. Take a look at our pictures. We've got a ton of them. There's a lot of really awesome costumes. And there's some funny ones and some awesome ones. So they're definitely worth checking out. Let us know which one you thought was your favorite. Just tweet it at us. That's fine. Hashtag Geeks Corner. But with all of that, we will see you around the corner.
Geek out.
Bye.